Snow pressed softly against the tall windows of the ballroom, dissolving into silver streaks under the glow of Christmas lights. Inside, laughter rose and fell like rehearsed music. Crystal glasses touched with polite chimes. Pine and cinnamon lingered in the warm air. The company's annual Christmas party was always extravagant, but this year felt heavier, though no one could quite name why. Anna stood near the long oak table where desserts were arranged in perfect rows. She wore a simple dark green dress, elegant but understated. Her hair gathered loosely at the nape of her neck. Around her, sequins shimmered. Tailored suits gleamed, and expensive perfume trailed behind confident footsteps. She looked like she belonged and yet invisible at the same time. At the center of the room, her husband Marcus laughed too loudly at something his assistant had whispered. His hand rested on the assistant's back a moment too long. People noticed, but no one said anything. They never did. Anna's fingers tightened around the envelope she had been holding all evening. The paper inside felt heavier than it should. Divorce papers. Final. Irrevocable. 2 years ago, when Marcus's logistics company was drowning in debt, Anna had sold her last piece of jewelry to help him make payroll. She had sat with him at the kitchen table night after night, running numbers, whispering encouragement when he felt like a failure. She believed in him when no one else did. She had built marketing strategies quietly from home, using skills she rarely spoke about. Slowly, the company recovered. Slowly, Marcus changed. Success hardened him. New contracts, new friends, new habits. He began correcting her in public, dismissing her opinions, introducing her as my wife without her name. When the rumors about the assistant started, he brushed them off with irritation. "You're imagining things," he said once, not looking up from his phone. "Don't embarrass me with jealousy." The word jealousy had stung more than any truth could have. Anna had cried in private, in the bathroom where the tiles were cool against her back. She had begged him for honesty, for effort, for some fragment of the man who once held her hand under cheap fairy lights in their first apartment. Instead, he grew colder. And so, on Christmas night, she made her decision. Music softened as Marcus tapped a spoon against his glass. "A toast," he announced, smiling the smile he saved for investors. "To growth, to success, and to bold decisions in the coming year." People applauded. Anna stepped forward before she could lose her courage. Her heels clicked against the marble floor, each step echoing in her ears. Marcus frowned slightly, confused. She held out the envelope. Her hand trembled, but her voice when it came was steady. "I think we should begin with honesty." The room fell into a fragile silence. Marcus's jaw tightened. "Anna, not now." "Yes," she said softly, "now." He opened the envelope, scanning the first page. Color drained from his face. A few guests shifted uncomfortably. Someone whispered, "You're serious?" He hissed under his breath. Tears gathered in her eyes despite her effort to remain composed. "I can't live in a marriage where I am an accessory." He forced a laugh, trying to control the narrative. "She's emotional. It's the holidays." But Anna did not step back. She took the pen from his hand and signed where her name was printed. The scratch of ink on paper sounded louder than the music. She placed the pen down carefully. "I loved you," she said, her voice breaking now. "But I won't beg for respect." Gasps floated through the room. Marcus looked not heartbroken but embarrassed, angry. "You'll regret this," he muttered. "You have no idea what you're walking away from." Anna looked around at the glittering decorations, the catered abundance, the people who measured worth in contracts and appearances. She felt something shift inside her, something painful but freeing. "No," she replied quietly. "You don't know what you're losing." She walked out before anyone could stop her. The cold night air struck her cheeks, mingling with her tears. Snowflakes clung to her lashes. For a moment, she allowed herself to sob. Shoulders shaking, years of humiliation pouring out of her. A black car waited at the curb. The driver stepped out quickly, holding an umbrella over her. "Ma'am," he said respectfully. Across the street, a few employees who had followed out of curiosity stared in confusion. Anna inhaled deeply, steadying herself. "Thank you, Thomas," she said to the driver. As she slid into the back seat, her phone vibrated. A message from her attorney. The acquisition was finalized. 3 years earlier, before Marcus's company had collapsed, Anna had quietly inherited her grandfather's investment firm in Hamburg. She had never spoken about it, not even to Marcus. She preferred simplicity, anonymity. While supporting her husband's failing business, she had simultaneously, Decisions 3-4, been restructuring struggling European companies through her own firm, signing documents under her maiden name. The firm had grown into one of the most discreet yet powerful private investment groups in Germany. And 2 months ago, when Marcus's competitors began circling again, Anna had purchased majority shares in his largest rival. Not out of revenge, out of strategy. The ballroom doors burst open. Marcus stood at the entrance, coat half-buttoned, eyes wide as he noticed the car. He recognized it now, the emblem on the side. He had seen it in financial magazines, attached to articles about a mysterious billionaire investor known for reviving broken enterprises. His expression shifted from anger to disbelief. Anna rolled down the window slowly. "You?" he whispered. She met his gaze calmly, though her heart still pounded. "I asked you once to see me as your equal," she said. "You never looked." Snow fell heavier between them, soft but relentless. "You needed me," he said weakly. Anna shook her head gently. "I never needed your money. I needed your respect." The car door closed. The vehicle moved forward, tires crunching against fresh snow. Through the rear window, she watched Marcus grow smaller, standing alone under the golden lights that no longer felt warm. In the weeks that followed, headlines spread across business circles. The anonymous investor revealed as Anna Keller, granddaughter of one of Hamburg's most disciplined financiers. Interviews were requested, declined. Speculation grew. Marcus's company struggled against the competitor she now owned. Not destroyed, just challenged. For the first time, he had to fight without her silent support. Anna moved into a quiet lakeside house outside the city. Mornings were peaceful there. She drank coffee by the window, watching mist rise from the water. She allowed herself to grieve. Not the wealth, not the lifestyle, but the love she once believed was unbreakable. One evening, months later, she received a letter, handwritten, from Marcus. He apologized. Not for losing her status, not for public embarrassment, but for failing to value her heart. He wrote about therapy, about reflection, about understanding too late that true partnership is not built on admiration from strangers, but on quiet loyalty at home. Anna folded the letter carefully. Tears filled her eyes again, but they were different now. Softer, wiser. She did not return to him. Some endings are necessary. On the next Christmas Eve, she hosted a modest gathering at a community center she had funded anonymously for years. There were no crystal chandeliers, only simple lights and homemade food. Children laughed freely. Volunteers sang off-key carols. No one there knew the exact number in her bank account. A little girl tugged at her sleeve. "Are you important?" she asked innocently. Anna knelt down, smiling. "I try to be kind," she answered. As snow began to fall outside once more, Anna felt something settle peacefully within her. She had signed those papers in tears, yes. She had walked away from a glittering room that measured value in surface shine, but in losing a husband who saw her as decoration, she found herself. And this time, she did not need anyone else to recognize her worth.